The Opium Wars were a clash of empires. Britain, the world's rising power, met the Qing Dynasty, a vast and ancient civilization. These wars, fought in the 19th century, were about more than just opium. They were about trade, power, and the changing world order. The consequences of these wars echo even today. They shaped modern China, global trade, and the relationship between East and West. The Opium Wars marked a turning point in global history. For centuries, China had been a dominant force in Asia. It held vast wealth and a rich culture. European powers, however, were eager to access China's resources and markets. This clash of ambitions led to conflict. The Opium Wars were a brutal demonstration of Western military might. They also exposed the weaknesses of the Qing Dynasty. The wars had a profound impact on China. The country was forced to open its doors to foreign trade. It ceded territories, including Hong Kong, to Britain. The Qing Dynasty was weakened, leading to internal rebellions and its eventual collapse. The Opium Wars were a humiliation for China. They are still remembered with bitterness by many Chinese today. They serve as a reminder of the dangers of foreign imperialism and the importance of national strength. At the heart of the conflict lay a trade imbalance. China, with its silk, tea, and porcelain, held a trade surplus with the West. European nations, particularly Britain, sought ways to reverse this flow. Opium, grown in British India, became the solution. British merchants found a ready market for opium in China. This illicit trade had devastating consequences. Opium addiction spread rapidly in China. It affected all levels of society, from peasants to officials. The Qing government recognized the threat. They outlawed opium and tried to stop its smuggling. These efforts, however, were met with resistance from British traders. They were backed by the British government, which saw opium as a lucrative source of revenue. The stage was set for confrontation. The British government argued for free trade. They claimed the right to sell opium in China. The Qing government, however, saw this as a threat to its sovereignty and the well-being of its people. The clash of these two perspectives was irreconcilable. The Qing Emperor, Daoguang, issued a strong edict against opium. He appointed Lin Zexu, a capable official, to eradicate the trade. Lin's actions, including the confiscation and destruction of British opium, proved to be a turning point. The First Opium War, 1839 to 1842, began with a decisive British naval attack on Chinese ships. British warships, superior in firepower and technology, easily defeated the outdated Chinese navy. The British then occupied key ports along the Chinese coast, crippling trade and forcing the Qing government to negotiate. The Treaty of Nanjing, signed in 1842, ended the First War. The treaty was deeply unfavorable to China. It ceded Hong Kong to Britain, opened more ports to foreign trade, and forced China to pay a large indemnity. The treaty marked the beginning of China's century of humiliation. It was a period of foreign intervention, internal strife, and national decline. The Second Opium War, 1856 to 1860, was even more brutal. The Second War saw Britain and France join forces against China. They looted and burned the Old Summer Palace, a symbol of Chinese imperial power. The Treaty of Tianjin, signed in 1858, further weakened China. It legalized the opium trade, opened more ports, and allowed foreign embassies in Beijing. These treaties had a devastating impact on China. They forced the country to open its doors to the West on unequal terms. This led to economic exploitation, social upheaval, and a loss of national pride. The aftermath of the Opium Wars transformed the world in profound ways. For China, these conflicts acted as a catalyst for significant change. The Qing Dynasty, already weakened and discredited, faced internal rebellions, fueled by poverty and widespread anger towards the government. Among these, the Taiping Rebellion, spanning from 1850 to 1864, proved the most devastating, leading to the deaths of millions and further weakening the Qing dynasty's grip on power. Additionally, the humiliation of defeat by foreign powers ignited a sense of national consciousness among the Chinese. Intellectuals and reformers began to question traditional systems and pushed for modernization, advocating for educational reforms, economic development, and a stronger military. These movements laid the groundwork for China's eventual transformation in the 20th century. Meanwhile, for the West, the Opium Wars secured access to China's vast markets and resources. European powers, particularly Britain, reaped benefits from favorable trade agreements and established spheres of influence within China, further contributing to the rise of European imperialism in Asia. This marked a pivotal shift in the global balance of power. The echoes of the Opium Wars continue to resonate well into the 21st century, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of trade imbalances, economic exploitation, and the use of military force to achieve economic goals. The legacy of these wars is particularly relevant in the context of modern China's rise as a global power. The memory of what is often referred to as the century of humiliation fuels a determination within China to never again be vulnerable to foreign pressure. This historical perspective is crucial for understanding contemporary China's worldview, shaping its approach to international relations, trade negotiations, and the pursuit of national interests. The lessons of the Opium Wars also reach beyond China, offering important insights for the international community. They highlight the need for fair trade practices, respect for national sovereignty, and the pursuit of peaceful resolutions to disputes. These wars underscore the interconnectedness of the global economy and the importance of a rules-based international order that promotes cooperation, mutual respect, and shared prosperity. The Opium Wars marked a pivotal moment in world history, signifying the beginning of China's decline and the rise of Western dominance. These wars were not merely military conflicts. They were clashes of cultures, economies, and ideologies, leaving behind a legacy of resentment, distrust, and a transformed global order. The lessons of the Opium Wars are as relevant today as they were in the 19th century. They serve as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of understanding history to foster a more just and equitable world. As we reflect on these events, we are reminded of the need to learn from the past to ensure a better future for all.